know if it's through the gavel, but we're going to start in a subcommittee because obviously we need a couple members to show up. Senator May, if you want to go ahead and start on Senate Bill 1412, you're welcome to fire away.
Good morning. How are you? Praise the Lord. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. For the record, I am Senator Carla May, representing the 4th Senatorial District. I am honored and delighted to bring Senate Bill 1412, which would establish the Ebony Alert in Missouri, before your committee today. The startling disappearance of black women in the United States has come under a recent spotlight as more than 97,000 cases were reported in 2022 alone, according to data from the National Crime Information Center. According to the U.S. Census data, nearly 40% of missing persons are persons of color, yet African Americans make up only 13% of the U.S. population. In another stat from 2022, it was found that nearly 215,000 people of color were reported missing. Of that group, over 153,000 were under the age of 18. These concerning trends sheds light on a crisis disproportionately affecting the black community. In particular, this crisis is severely affecting black women in Missouri. As recently as 2022 in Kansas City, there was a case of a man keeping a young black woman in his basement against her will. Doing canvasses of the area, residents uncovered more and more stories about missing women that had gone unreported. These stories become even more alarming when considering that Missouri recently became the worst state for black women to live in, as they have the highest rate of homicide amongst all 50 states. The Ebony Alert would be a valuable resource for law enforcement, as well as act as a bridge to address severe disparities when it comes to finding missing African American Missourians. Currently, to qualify for an Amber Alert, there must be a credible threat of serious bodily injury or death to the victim. Oftentimes, missing person cases for African American youth are quickly classified as runaways and subsequently not investigated to the fullest extent. In these cases, risk assessments are often overlooked. This includes the issuing of an Amber Alert. The Ebony Alert System would maintain that same standard for issuing alerts, but it would ensure that missing African Americans get adequate attention, and more importantly, it would ensure that these cases would remain missing persons cases rather than runaways. In my view, the need for the Ebony Alert is simply because missing black kids simply do not get adequate coverage or attention. This is despite black children making up more than a third of all missing person cases. Additionally, black women and girls are at an increased risk of harm and make up a disproportionate percentage of all missing persons. The Ebony Alert will create a clear opportunity for law enforcement to carefully consider all missing person cases for African American youth. It will also be an additional layer of protection for these youth and can potentially mitigate more kidnapping and abductions in the future. If the Ebony Alert can save one African American boy or girl and prevent countless others from being put in harm's way, then it's absolutely imperative that we pass this legislation in Missouri. And I'll be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Senator. Questions? Seeing none. First person to testify in favor of the bill. Is anybody here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 1412? Yeah, come on up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaliyah Marcano, and I am 18 years old. I'm so excited to be advocating today for the Ebony Alerts, and I am very passionate about this topic. Recently, I have been performing in sex trafficking plays. I have been filming in sex trafficking movies, and I'm trying to spread awareness to this topic. And as a college student at Harrisville State University, I'm wanting us to really pay attention to this topic and really not be able to look over our heads on our shoulders. Recently, there was a young lady who went missing, and this happened on Sunday. She'd been missing since Sunday, but nothing has been mentioned on major news stations, and this situation keeps recurring. So hopefully this new effort will bring significant awareness to this topic. And thank you, Senator Mays, for bringing me today and for your efforts to bring this bill to light. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Any questions? Seeing none. Thanks for speaking. Also, we have witness forms there on the table. Make sure you fill one of those out for our records. Thank you. Next to testify in favor.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Chase Campbell, representing National Association of Social Workers, going on record in support. Appreciate the senator elevating the issue of missing children.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none. Thank you for your testimony. Anybody else to testify in favor?
Olivia Petner, registered lobbyist for the Missouri State Conference of the NAACP. We just want to go on record in support of this legislation. We believe that it is important for members of the Black community to be listened to and believed when they talk about how they are being harmed by others in their community. Going back to what Senator May said about the incident in Kansas City from 2022, members of the Black community in that area were discussing the fact that women were going missing in their community and their voices were going unheard. Kansas City Police Department went so far as to say that their claims were completely unfounded until one of the women that was held in captivity escaped from her captor and was able to share her personal story. The Kansas City Defender, which is a Black journalistic outlet in Kansas City, was the only journalistic outlet that was reporting on the incident until that woman escaped. So it is extremely important to us that a system such as the Ebony Alert System exist, because it would allow us not only to address disparities in the ways that Black individuals that are missing are reported on and responded to, but also because we believe that it would help to develop trust between the Black community and law enforcement. Our ability to trust in things like missing persons reports and the attention that will be given to them and the resources that will be given to them are dependent upon an ability to trust that law enforcement will actually act on those filings if we file those missing persons reports. Additionally, having a dedicated alert system would allow us to actually have a system that is tailored to the cultural and social needs of the Black community, which might be different from other communities. And that would, again, help to bolster the trust, the communication, the attention, and the resources that go towards making sure that members of our community that are disproportionately missing at a greater rate than other individuals, despite being only 13% of the national population, are actually found and kept safe. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none. Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 1412?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia Henderson. I'm also Aaliyah Morcano's mother. As a mom that has a teenage daughter, she's 18 years old, as she stated, I have been also advocating for sexual awareness, and especially in our Black communities. We have traveled far from Memphis to St. Louis, as she stated, with this. In St. Louis, it seems that we have a lot of abandoned buildings that no one is paying attention to, and some of these children are getting taken. Their bus stops, in fact, are in front of these abandoned buildings, and it's easy access for a child to be taken, and no one noticed. No one's doing anything about it. With living in the North County area, close to like the Berkeley area, we have children that have been missing from the Berkeley area for years, and there's no attention being brought to that. It's just dead in the water. But if you turn on the news, and I'm going to give you an example, if you think about the young man that was missing from the zoo, and took him, forever to a couple weeks to find him. At the same time, there was a Black male that was missing, young man, same age, from a college, and he got no attention, none whatsoever, and he's still missing today. But he didn't get the public attention that the white male got. So it's very important, this bill that is being passed. I'm very excited about Mrs. May's effort for this Ebony Alert. I think it's needed in our communities. We want, as the lady stated before, I can't remember her name, we want that same security. We want the same security that everyone else is getting. And we feel like this bill will help with that. And that's pretty much my opinion on what I have to say as far as that goes.
Thanks for being here today. Appreciate your testimony. Questions? Seeing none. Anybody else here to testify in favor? Seeing none. Anybody to testify in opposition? Anybody here for informational purposes only? That'll conclude the hearing on Senate Bill 1412. Thank you, Senator. Any closing
you.
remarks?
No, I just think we need to get this bill passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Washington? Senate Bill 1381, when you're ready.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, committee, for having me this morning. 1381 is a very simple bill. It's just a bill to name, designate a portion of US 71 highway, which runs through my district, as Fallen Firefighters Memorial Bridge. This started a little around 40 years ago. 5 of the Kansas City firefighters were killed. I was just waiting for you to be ready. A little over 40 years ago, there was some arson set at the location at 87th Street and US 71 Highway that killed 5 of our local firefighters. We decided to expand this from just the Kansas City firefighters to all firefighters that have fallen in the line of duty. So it's real simple. The Department of Transportation has already worked with the firefighters and are okay with this designation, and will help them erect signs that will honor our fallen firefighters forever.
Thank you, Senator. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. I apologize about that.
No, that's okay.
Appreciate the bill. Any questions for the sponsor? Seeing none. Anybody here to testify in favor of the bill? Anybody here in opposition to the bill? Anybody here for informational purposes only? Seeing none, that'll conclude the hearing.
Don't let that deter you, okay?
I like it. I can't. We'll definitely get it through here.
Thanks.
Thanks, Senator. Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater,
Here.
Brown, Bean, Eigel, Razor, Schroer, Williams.
Quorum being established, I ask that we make a motion to move into executive session. Having a second, we're in executive session. I move that House Committee Substitute for House Bill 1626 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The bill is before the committee. I move that House Committee substitute for House Bill 1626 be voted out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. This bill was presented a couple weeks ago by Representative Busick to help with school bus driver retention. It just increases the age that they have to do their testing on a yearly basis. We need school bus drivers, so it's just it kind of removes burden on that. So, any discussion on that?
Was that the bill where it actually lifted it pertaining to age?
It's an age change, yeah. So it's just a little bit older. I think it goes from 70 to 77. Is that the age? Further discussion? Seeing none, Ben, call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater,
Aye.
Brown, Bean,
Aye.
Eigel, Razor, Schroer, Williams.
By your vote of 4-0, you voted to pass House Committee substitute for House Bill 1626. And now move that we move out of executive session. Do I have a second? Having a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. We are out of executive session. That will conclude the hearing on transportation, infrastructure, and public safety.